Assalamu alaikum. It's the chosen one. It's the guided one. It's the guided one. It's the chosen one. It is the man with the pitcher of water. How's everyone doing? Uh, I am. Let me get my setup straight. So today we're going to be reviewing a video from Godlogic because I decided to. I don't know why, but this guy makes me feel so driven to kind of come into the defense of Islam, the true Islam, and kind of make this a part of my journey of destroying this blaspheming channel that thinks they're so haughty, thinks they're so, how can I say, full of themselves. No proper scholarship, no proper, a lot of conflation of ideas and mixed with text and history. Um, uh, it's just so many layers. But here is a clip of a video of God Logic interviewing someone and completely failing. And I'm gonna be breaking it down as we go. Hopefully, I think like I can actually bear with me. I can actually flip my camera here. Hold on, let me see. 1 second. Actually, I don't think I can. Hold on. I don't know if I can rotate my camera to try and, because I'm live. Let's see. Bear with me, guys. Um, no, I can't flip my camera. But we're gonna be listening to the commentary, and I can maybe just like turn it around for you guys to see. Um, wow, this looks good. This looks really good. Okay, so basically, yeah, I'm just sick of the shenanigans from him, and I don't know if that's his brother, cousin, friend, Godlogic 2.0. Um, they're real, like, I would say they're blasphemers, and I would say they're trolls because they don't actually come with any real debate. What they do is anybody who doesn't follow along with their ideas or their way of coming to conclusions, in the dialogue, that's not really any debate because, um, they always interrupt people. But anybody coming with that, they're not really refuting anybody. Um, what they do is they ask people questions, weighted questions based on their own bias about how they read something via the text, which I have the text here, and I'm gonna go over these as we go through this video. It's about 18 minutes long, but we're gonna debunk this. I'm gonna start doing reviews on this and show you guys how stupid, how illogical, and oh my god, like it is mind-boggling how stupid these guys are. And it's not even, I'm not trying to like insult in a way where I'm just like, oh, I'm mad because they're saying things I don't agree with. No, I'm a very analytical person, and everything he's saying is wrong, and he doesn't think that he needs to question. You'll see his type. You'll see once I break it down. Once I see really, you'll just see, man. Let me just get to the video and then break it down as we go. Y'all see what y'all will see what I'm talking about, and which is why I have so much contention with these guys because they're liars. They lie on their own faith, and they lie on Islam as if they're experts somehow. um, what I will commend them for is seeing the inconsistencies between hadith and the words of men historically when compared to the Quran, because as I've stated in my 3-hour video about hadith and how the Quran mentions it's the ultimate hadith, so anything coming after it would either have to match it, and if it doesn't, it either has to go. So yeah, let's get started. What I'll do is I'll just turn my phone around if I mean, I'm sure you guys will be able to listen, but I'm gonna turn it loud. And what I'll do is I'll have my phone here, and I'll bear with me. I have my phone here, and let you guys listen to it while maybe here. Let's try this. And turn it this way, and then turn my phone this way. right? And then I'll scoot this closer that you guys can see what's happening. I'm on my tablet, so bear with me. Sorry about that. And there we go. So we're gonna watch this. Obviously, for you guys, it might be reversed. I'm not too sure. I can't really tell. But I will be here pausing it and in the background so that you guys can see and hear what is being discussed. Let's get started with this and breaking this down. This is God logic has no logic, and you guys will see. So for you Christians out there who think that this guy makes sense, I'm going to show you how he does it. Let's do it. Present something that's untrue. What's true is that he wasn't. And what did Allah make appear? That he was crucified. So he lied. No, he didn't lie, because the thing is in the what God did was what he did. Okay, so what's the question? Okay. Statement. So what you guys saw was a snippet of the video. A lot of YouTubers are doing that now, where they show snippets of the videos. So now that you see it's in color, this is the actual start of the video, or a portion of a video, which is the start of this video. Here we go. Let's review this. Is that Allah made me believe in a crucifixion? Okay, so in Islam we believe in free will. So you made that decision. No, Allah made it appear that he was crucified, and so therefore, well, that's true. But the decision to fall for that was yours. Can I resist Allah's trick? If he wants to delude me, can I resist that? Can you resist it? Yeah, you have free will. You can resist anything. No, the Quran says that Allah guides who do you have? Yeah, but okay, that's true. Okay. So what I will warn you guys is God logic. What he's doing here, he's playing two sides right now, two losing sides for his own logic, really his own intellect. He's actually playing devil's advocate while at the same time trying to disprove him by playing devil's advocate for his religion, which actually makes him look stupid. Pay attention. What proof do you have that you can't you didn't have free choice in that situation? Am I able to resist Allah's delusion? So what they're talking about is the chapter of Surah Nisa, chapter 4 of the Quran, verse 157, where it describes the crucifixion belief from the context of the Quran, basically stating that it was made to appear that Isa was, which is Jesus, was crucified, and his claim is that that is a deceit in the Quran, and you'll see what he says. Wants to delude me. Can I resist his delusion? I don't know why you're calling it a delusion. You're just at this point mocking, but the point is that you have free will. In Surah Al-Kahf, chapter 18, verse 29, it says the truth is from your Lord. So whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. Yeah, and chapter 14, verse 4 says, don't trip over those who reject the message, because Allah guides who he wants and he misguides who he wants. Yeah, I mean, but that's when taken in the context, Let me finish, please. And it goes on to say, you cannot guide those who Allah misguided. Is that free will? Yeah, 100% it's free will, because you're taking it out of context. The people who are misguided because they have arrogance in their heart. So they made the initial decision. Exactly. What God logic seems to not understand is that what he's trying to conflate it, because he has the same concept in Christianity, which, I mean, they're all the same religion, but these people over time have misconstrued things in the events that have happened to have all this delusion and all these things that our people are confused about. But what he's doing is he's doesn't understand the idea that between free will and what God decides. People don't understand that, like, you have the free will to align yourself or not align yourself with what God has said, or when I say what God has said, we have to really get really deep with that, because when I say what God has said or done, it's what's already ordained within reality. You could look at it as kind of like the laws of physics, right? That's in place. You cannot change that, right? You can only alter your perception of it, but you can't change it itself, right? You can only alter your perception of it based on your interaction with it. And that's for any level of any realm, any what do you call it? You can't rewrite the laws of physics basically for whatever realm and dimension you're in. You can't do that. You can, like I said, you can only alter your perception of it based on your interaction with it. So it's kind of like that. So what God Logic is doing, he doesn't seem to understand the difference between free will and what God has ordained. Free will is the ability to choose between not following versus following what God has or has ordained. So I need you guys to really like understand that concept. But he doesn't seem to understand, because when he's saying God, when he's saying Allah guides who he wills, he's saying uh, he misguides who he wills, and he guides who he wills. Well, those who are misguided have chosen that path. They see the truth in front of them. So by virtue of something already existing, like if I say the sky is blue and somebody comes along and says the sky is green, God has ordained that the sky is blue. It's been like that. It's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't come along. That's how you are misguided. Once you start to purport lies, you then get trapped in those lies on your own. See, people have this weird concept that you have to do something in order for God to act on you. No, by virtue of God creating reality, if you go against that reality, people say, "Oh, that's God biting back." No, motherfucker, that's the universe telling your ass to get right. For example, if you using a machine, right? Because God is outside of all this. Y'all think God is within this, but He's also outside of it. But in terms of you like I said, interacting with your reality, right? In terms of you acting with your reality, you're not realizing how uh, you're not realizing how you you you. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Somebody had popped up. You're not realizing how you're not fitting in with uh, what's supposed to be. For example, you breathe oxygen. If you hold your breath, you're more likely to pass out because you're not following the proper steps to maintain, you know what I mean, homeostasis, to maintain your respiratory system. You know what I mean? For example, if you build a machine and the machine's supposed to work a certain way, if you don't follow the steps for that machine, you can't sit here and say, "Oh, well, the person who created this machine misguided me." Is like, no, he created it a certain way. You misguided yourself by purposely being an individual who wants to do the opposite of what something was created for or what it exists as. So that's what people don't seem to understand. And God Logic is missing this point, or he's just playing dumb so that he doesn't have to admit this point in order to prove Islam false. But he's failing here. Listen to this. To be misguided is what you're misunderstanding. This is unanimous amongst all.
Why does it say that Muhammad has no capability of guiding them because Allah misguided them?
The point of that is that the Prophet Muhammad is a warner. He has no control over who accepts the message and who rejects it. Exactly.
Yeah, but that's not answering the question.
No, that is. It did answer the question. You see, this guy, God Logic does this a lot. He brings people on his channel, right? He incites like Muslims to come on. He only really targets Muslims, but he incites them to come on. They say their points. A lot of the times these Muslims are making good points because a lot of it's not really being like, a lot of the text isn't always being argued. It's more so the ideologies behind why they believe certain things about texts, whether it's the Quran or Bible or whatever, right? And it gets that way because God Logic likes to maneuver the conversation that way by telling people he's either gonna, because they always come to his channel, he's either gonna mute them, like they did to me. He's either gonna mute them or he's going to send them away. And people obviously have they're anxious to say their points and defend their faith, but he uses that as a weapon against them. Oh, you're on my channel, you think you can talk to they even did that to me. I have the recording. And that's their biggest weapon: hushing people, not answering their questions, and misconstruing everything they say. And I want to rewind that for y'all to hear that again. Listen to what this dude said. Listen. As a warner, he has no control over who accepts the message and who rejects it.
Yeah, but that's not answering the question.
No, that is. He literally answered the question. He says that's not answering my question. Did bro not just ask him why did Prophet Muhammad state that he couldn't guide the people? who Allah has misguided? He did answer it. He said, because Prophet Muhammad was just a warner. He doesn't have control over who accepts the message or not. That answers the question. He says, that doesn't answer my question. Oh, you're an idiot, bro. He just answered it. That's he just because it doesn't fit your perception, because you think Islam is false, you think the Quran is false, you think you think Muslims are false. Bro, you're just being a troll at this point, because you're not really. This is my problem with Godlogic and his followers and his page and all those Christians in the comments, is that they have the biggest level of cognitive dissonance. They don't actually refute anything. They just come up with their own ideas about what they think something is, make a judgment, draw conclusions, and then argue their own conclusions against someone. And if someone doesn't fit into that narrative, buy into that delusion, then they're the wrong ones. Watch.
He have no capability of guiding them according to the books. Sorry? What is the reason why he has no capability of guiding those people? Because he doesn't. He doesn't. Nobody has the ability to. There's a reason. The verse gives a reason. Right, and I'm telling you, you're taking that reason out of context, but that's a whole nother discussion. I'm answering your question. Your question is, Allah made me believe the Quran. I'm telling you that we in Islam, we believe in free will, and your free will, with your free will, you chose to believe that that crucifixion happened. You don't have free will in Islam. You don't. You're wrong. I just quoted you a verse that says we do. I can quote you. I just quoted you a verse that contradicts that. So now what? What do we do? What? And I just explained that verse.
See, and then he's mixing free will with guidance. What is guidance? If I give you guidance, right? Because Allah guides who he wills, right? And he's saying you don't have free will, because I just quoted a verse, which was the one about guidance. Allah can guide who he will, and he misguides who he wills. Bro, you're mixing up guidance and free will, dude. Someone can give you guidance, right? Like Jesus, he gave you guys guidance, and you guys took all this shit. You guys took all this shit the wrong way. He gave you the guidance, but you had the free will of whether or not you wanted to follow it and believe in it. Same thing with God. But you don't seem to understand that, Godlogic, because you have no logic, like the title of my video says. So let's continue with reviewing your dumbness.
To you, people choose misguidance, and it doesn't say that they chose misguidance. It says Allah misguided. And I just gave you a verse that says, whoever disbelieves, let him disbelieve. It's from their own. It's from their will. Their own. The verse says that their disbelief comes from Allah. That Allah is the one who misguides them. That's not what the verse says. The verse says the truth is from your Lord. So whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. Says Allah misguides who he wills, and he guides who he wills. And we don't.
Man, that's a completely different context. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I gotta listen to which one he was quoting, guys. So what I'm gonna do is pull out the Quran, because I have it here, and we're gonna see what it actually says versus how Godlogic is trying to interpret it, because he pulled a whole other chapter out, bro, with complete its own context, its own everything, but wants to use it in reference to another chapter. That sound familiar? That's kind of what Christians do. Oh, look, see here in the Old Testament, that was actually talked about here in the New Testament here, and like what? That's what they do. They jump. And he's used to doing that, and because he's using to do that, he's applying the same tactic to the Quran to prove it false, because he doesn't have, in his mind, he doesn't have the ability to do that with the Quran, so it must be false. Now listen to this. He's conflating two different parts of the book and of the scripture to mean something. But watch. Let's turn to the page he said. What did he say it was? Let's see.
Let him believe, and whoever wills. 14:4 says Allah misguides.
14:4. Watch this. Guys, 14:4 is the surah Abraham. It's about Abraham. Listen to this. And we sent no messenger, but he spoke in the language of his people, said that he might so that he might make all of our messages clear to them. Yet Allah leaves in error those who wish to remain in error, and guides him who wishes to be guided. And he is the Almighty and the Wise. So if you actually you see what that's saying, he's taking that out of context. It's not that Allah guides. Yes, obviously Allah guides. We are creation based on whether or not we, like I said, based on whether or not we want to follow what He has put forth into creation, meaning the laws of existence in reality, right? It clearly says that it's for those who remain, who He leaves them in error. He guides him who wishes to be guided, right? So he's taking it completely out of context. I'm gonna rewind it again so you can hear this. Listen.
This belief comes from Allah. That Allah is the one who misguides. That's not what the verse says. The verse is the truth is from your Lord. So whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. 14:4 says Allah misguides who He wills, and He guides who He wills. And we don't cry over those. Don't weep over those that disbelieve, because you cannot guide those who Allah misguided. Okay, he's specifically to the Prophet Muhammad that it is not in that human being's power to make anybody believe or disbelieve, which is true. It's not in his power. But why? Because only God can do that. So only God is the one who can make someone believe? Or God is the one who makes people what? No, God can do that. Wait, according to the verse. Good. Let's stay consistent with the verse. Let's stay consistent. According to the verse, only God is the one who makes people believe, and only God is the one who makes people. No, only God can do that. Yes. Disbelieve. Yeah, only God can do that. Yes. No, it's not only God can do that. It's that's what He does. No, it says Allah guides who He wants, and He misguides who He wants. No, you cannot guide who Allah misguided. Yeah, because at the end of the day, we believe in divine. At the end of the day, baby. At the end of the day. Hold on, let me explain it. Don't interrupt me. At the end of the day gonna end. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hear you. I'm messing with you, man. Go ahead. The thing is as Muslims, we believe in free will and we believe in divine decree, right? So everything that happens has to happen at the will of God, right? And that's pretty much. That's the only way you can believe in God's divine plan and free will at the same time. So that should be true for you as well. And as a Muslim, our will is subject to God's will. But ultimately, if God doesn't will for it to happen, doesn't allow it to happen, it can't happen. Gotcha. So it looks like we're not going to get anywhere with this. Let me switch the angle up here. The reason why I'm still go with Allah make.
So he's just choosing not to. He's choosing not to. What's it called? Not to answer the question. Not to divulge. Sorry, I'm at a loss of words. He's choosing not to engage further. And that when you have a type of following, when you have like if you had a page and you had a following, right, or a group of people who listen to you, that is this guy's really good at trolling. So what he's doing is basically when he can't seem to convince somebody that they're wrong, he runs away from the topic. But his followers don't see it as running away. They just see it, they just see it as a win. Meaning, okay, this guy's delusional. I'm not gonna, because man, you guys should watch this guy's videos and see his the comment section, especially when he goes live. Like if you subscribe, when he goes live, like y'all should really watch look at the comment section. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then he never lets anybody finish. And then when they do finish, he just disagrees. Even if they're making sense, he just disagrees just for the sake of it. Even when they've proven him wrong, even when they've textually shown him what he's saying is 100% wrong. What they're saying is 100% fact. He still disagrees. And his channel is like blowing up, man. He's just digging into Muslims and Islam. And it's just like, bro, it's time to stop, bro. Because you met a real one, bro. Godlogic, man. You keep blocking me. I have all the screenshots and all of every time I go on your page trying to correct you, you end up blocking me in the comments. And you're doing it on purpose. And you and your buddy blocked me from a 5-hour live. I said a live hour. A 5-hour live where I was cooking. But y'all didn't want it to get there because like y'all like to interrupt and you call it moderating. You're just interrupting and not making. You're arguing against points people haven't made yet. right? You're cherry picking things that they say as they're on their way to making their point. You interrupt them because you think what they're saying is wrong, even though they haven't finished saying what they're saying, and it's quite ridiculous. And then you start shouting over and screaming over them. Oh, I'm gonna mute you. I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna mute you. You're okay. Good night. Go ahead. Yep, we're gonna get you out of here. Type thing. It's all a shit show, really. And the fact that you're using Christianity as a mockery, right? When there are or your faith, right? Some people like really hold true to this stuff. You're using it not only to get you're getting what you call it, uh, you know, fame. You have people who follow you, and you're misguiding them, bro. It's quite ridiculous, man. So let's guys, let's continue to see a lot of the foolery that's happening here, man, because I've watched so many of his videos and seen so much blasphemy, so many topics covered that it's hard for me to like really, uh, you know, hone in on a lot of the foolery. Like I just need you guys to witness it. Just listen.
They believe it. But according to what you're saying, I chose to believe in the delusion that Allah placed in front of us, that Jesus was crucified.
Yeah, I mean, well, you weren't there. You chose to believe what people said.
Right, so people who were there saw Jesus being crucified. However, it wasn't true. It wasn't truly Jesus being crucified, but Allah made them see that. They made them think that.
Right. He made it appear that way, yeah.
Right. So this whole idea that Jesus was crucified comes from Allah in the first place, right?
As does pretty much everything else, like the existence of the devil.
Okay.
Duh.
But so you're saying that both lies and truth comes from Allah.
It's not a lie. How is that a lie? It happened. God can't lie. It happened.
So what he's referring to is the chapter 4. Let's read what they're referring to. I'll read it to you guys so you guys can have some context, especially with those who aren't familiar with Islam or the Quran. So we're going to turn, if you have a Quran or if you have internet in front of you, you're going to turn to chapter 4, verse 157. I want you guys to listen to this. Here we go. And because of the Jews, right? Because of their claiming we did kill the Messiah, Jesus, the son of Mary, the false messenger of Allah, whereas they killed him not, nor did they cause his death by crucifixion, but he was made to them to resemble one crucified to death. Verily, those who differ therein are certainly in a state of confusion about it. They have no definite knowledge of the matter, but are only following a conjecture. They did not kill him. This much is certain. Now listen to this.
Lies and truth comes from Allah.
It's not a lie. How is that a lie? It happened. God can't lie. It happened. You calling it a lie is misqualifying.
Well, let's see.
We're classifying it.
Let's work it out together. Was Jesus truly crucified?
Was he crucified? No, not based on my belief yet.
Right. So he wasn't crucified. So now if Allah then comes and portrays Jesus to be when he's not being crucified,
yeah.
So that it's false that Jesus was crucified. The truth is that he wasn't. The falsehood is that he was crucified. And this falsehood was portrayed by Allah himself, right?
It's not a falsehood, though, dude. That's your understanding of it. You're calling it a falsehood is misclassifying what happened.
All right,
let me give you an example. Just so we're on the same page, right? In the Battle of Badr, God sent angels down to help the Muslims, right? So the non-believers, they believed they were outnumbered, right? Because they were outnumbered, although they couldn't see the Muslims couldn't see that, right?
They were outnumbered, though.
The point is that it's not the Allah telling a lie that goes against the essence of the God. God can't.
It's like what is the opposite of truth?
Sorry, hold on, go ahead. I got a phone call.
What is the opposite of truth?
The opposite of truth is a lie, no?
The
I could
opposite.
be wrong about that, but I don't know. I mean, it sounds
No,
like
you're right.
a philosophical question.
You're right.
I'm sure that's not even the right answer, but go ahead.
It is the right answer.
But I mean, that's what you think, but I think that if we actually look that up, it may not be the right answer.
The opposite of truth is lie, is a lie. It's falsehood. Okay? So when something is not true, then it is false. Right?
So are you saying the opposite of truth or the opposite of, the opposite of truth is false? It doesn't mean a lie.
No worries. You're right. Lie comes with intention. Like someone is doing,
Right.
like a lie would be somebody purposely giving falsehood, right?
Right.
So that would be, that lie has to do with intention. So if someone intends to give falsehood, then that means they're lying. Would you agree?
If somebody intends to give false information, that would be a lie, sure.
All right, cool. So we're working together.
Yeah.
All right, so the opposite of truth is falsehood. And a lie is someone who intentionally gives false information in order to deceive. All right? So this is where we're at. It's not true that Jesus was crucified.
Yeah.
Right? So it's false that Jesus was crucified.
It's false.
Yeah, it's false that Jesus was crucified. That's false. Allah portrayed that Jesus was crucified.
No, but your belief in what happened could be true or false. God, what actually happened is what is true. God didn't make something false or make you. That's not how it works.
Yeah, that's what he's conflating. He's conflating his own your ability to believe in something as true or false versus it actually being true or false, because those are two objective realities. You can't sit there and say, oh, something is false, but it might be true that it's false. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you're an idiot, because not only is Godlogic right here, sorry, where's my finger? Right here, Godlogic, and he's talking to this Muslim, you can't really see his face, right? He is a Christian, so he believes Christ died on the cross. So really think about this, guys. What is he arguing here? He's arguing that Allah is a liar, astaghfirullah. He's arguing that Allah is a liar because, and he created falsehood surrounding Jesus's death. Listen to this, Jesus' crucifixion. Bro, you're claiming that if Allah lied to you, right? This is how he's trying to disprove Islam. He's so retarded. He's trying to say that if Allah created a falsehood, which he didn't, because I'm going to read this verse to you guys one more time there. He's saying if Allah created a falsehood, then the reason he believes what he believes is because Allah deceived him. But it doesn't change the fact that you still, like, if you're admitting that, then you're making the Quran a true book, dummy. But listen to this. And because of the Jews, falsely claiming, we did kill the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, the false messenger of Allah, whereas they killed him not, nor did they cause his death by crucifixion, but he was made to them to resemble one crucified to death. Verily, those who differ therein are certainly in a state of confusion about it. They have no definite knowledge of the matter, but are only following a conjecture, which I did in my breakdown in my videos, guys. Go check out my YouTube videos, The Man with the Pitcher of Water on YouTube. You can find, I believe it's one of the Breaking of the Cross videos. You can find that I talk about it in John, how Jesus signified his death, and none of it was actually talking about, a crucifixion. He symbolized the way he was going to die. And actually, the second time he signified his death, which is in John chapter 18, verses 31 to 37, he actually says the reason he came into the world, and when Pontius Pilate asked him, are you the king of the Jews? He said the reason he came into the world, and it had nothing to do with the crucifixion or dying for the sins of humanity. And then in verses 31 to 30, I want to say 34, 35, he's Pontius, what was it? He said the Jews basically were given, Pontius Pilate gave Jesus back to the Jews. And he said, judge him according to your law. The Jews said they could not. They could not put any man to death. And then right after that, it says, this is the sayings of Jesus fulfilled, signifying what death he should die. Now, the more you read those 3 times, right, chapter 12, chapter 18, and chapter 21 of John, the more you read those, you will see that it aligns with the Quran. Because why would Jesus, look, Jesus prayed in the garden. Mary Magdalene on the first day of the week, not the third day, the first day of the week, found him in a gardener's clothes. And where was he praying? In the Garden of Gethsemane. I mean, the first thing Jesus was worried about was taking off his clothes after if he supposedly rose from death. You mean the first thing he worried about is going to get a gardener's outfit? Come on now, let's piece this thing together. But it was made to appear that way, right? And this is how dumb God logic is, guys. This is what I want to say to y'all. Let me do it this way, right? If I'll give this example after. Keep watching. Look at this dummy.
It's your perception, which is what's true or false, not what God did. God didn't do falsehood. God did something, and you didn't believe it.
Got you. When it says it was made to appear so, it was made to appear that he was crucified.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means that it was exactly what it says.
Who made it appear that Jesus was crucified?
God did.
All right. Is it true that Jesus was crucified, or false that he was?
Is it true that Jesus was not crucified?
All right, so it's false then to say that Jesus was crucified.
Yeah.
So Allah made it appear that Jesus was crucified. So he made it appear that a falsehood took place. He brought falsehood into the mix.
Yeah, I mean that no, wait. God made it appear that
Jesus was crucified.
Okay. So that's the reality, right?
The reality is that he wasn't crucified. Allah went against reality and made and
how can God go against reality?
Well, he presented a falsehood.
He presented something because Jesus, according to your Bible, prayed to God. Remember the events surrounding the crucifixion, Mr. Godlogic, because you seem to forget and not know your Bible contextually. Remember the events surrounding the crucifixion. Where was Jesus before he went to the crucifixion? He was in the garden, and that's where he got picked up before he was arrested. He was in the garden before he got arrested. And what happened was, in the Garden of Gethsemane, he had prayed to God to take the cup from him. And that's exactly what happened. God did that. He answered that. And that's what the Quran is affirming and confirming here. You see, you don't seem to understand this, God logic, because you're a believer in the fact that Christ died on the cross. So you argue, even let's say you're trying to disprove Islam, you're trying to disprove the Quran. Okay, look at this dumb shit, dude. You're what you're saying is that by virtue of God deceiving people into believing that Christ died on the cross in order to save Christ, obviously, because why else would he be trying to trick people that it happened when it actually didn't? Because those people had the intent to kill Christ. They were plotting and planning to kill Christ. Yes. So the fact that they were plotting and planning to kill the Messiah, guess what? God did something about it. So for you to say God is a liar because he was trying to do something to save the Messiah and and by virtue of him making it look like they crucified him in order to save Jesus, you're saying that that's a bad thing? You're saying that no, because you have to listen to this, bro. You also believe that it happened. So you're not only aligned with those who wanted to kill Christ, but you're actually speaking against yourself. You don't realize it, bro, because if you say that this verse is God lying, then you believe the lie. So you're actually confirming the Quran, bro. You're an idiot, bro. Listen to this dude, guys.
Presented something that wasn't true, right?
So okay, I mean but what you're misunderstanding something. Let me just give you an example. Honestly, I'm not trying to deflect. I want to stick to the topic, but I want to give you an example. Do you believe that God created Adam and Eve? Yes, right. We believe that, and we believe, but it appears on the surface that that God also evolution is true. Right? And that we evolved from apes. There's ample evidence of that, right? So that is God's
he's wrong about that.
Allowed to take place. So if you
He's wrong about that, by the way.
a scientist and you believe in evolution and not the story of Adam and Eve, then are you being misguided by God?
No.
Why?
Because God is not the one who portrayed this idea of evolution, did he?
Yes, he did.
So then you are being misguided by God. If God himself is
Wait, you don't believe in evolution?
No, I don't.
What?
No, I don't believe in evolution, not macroevolution. It's silly.
That is bizarre, but okay.
But look. This is where
it's not a theory, by the way, people in the chat. That is a fact as factual that can be. What are you talking about?
It's okay, man. It's okay. This is what I want to focus on, though.
Go ahead.
It's not true that Jesus was crucified. So this is a falsehood that was portrayed by Allah, right?
Listen, God put down the truth, which is that Jesus would not be crucified. You chose to believe that he was still crucified.
Well, God is the one Allah is the one who made it appear that Jesus was crucified, right?
Yes.
All right. So if Allah is the one who made it appear that Jesus was crucified, he portrayed a false thing.
And if he portrayed a false thing, why are you believing it? You're a Christian, dude. You believe it. What are you saying? It doesn't matter if you want to disprove Muslims with this, which I don't know how you can, but Allah's book is tight knit, bro, especially with this verse. It's the most well-known verse. Add up the numbers, you'll find out why. Because it equals that. Chapter 4, 157. Do your numerology around that number, guys, for those esoterics out there who know what the hell I'm talking about, because you know who it is. You're dealing with the mystical man with the pitcher of water. Y'all know who I am. And what number does it add up to? What did I say my number was in gematria when you type my name in, my biological, my birth name in on there? Equals, man, don't play with me. What was Jesus's number according to numerology? Come on now, don't play with me. Now look, Godlogic, you're a Christian, dude. Your argument here is flawed. You lost this one, bro. You sound idiotic. If this is really God portraying Allah portraying a falsehood, guess what? You believe the falsehood. So if you see what Allah did here, guys, you Muslims out there, you see how perfectly worded the Quran is, and how it's literally him trying to fight through it because he's actually one of the ones who got quote unquote deceived based on his narrative, right? Godlogic's narrative, but it's not really a deceit. It's only a deceit for those who wanted to kill Christ. And according to the Christian narrative, everybody who's a Christian wants and needs to kill that nigga in order for their salvation. The Quran is the only one that come along saying he didn't die. We saved him. And you're like, blasphemy, death, killing. I'm a demon. I need it. Matter of fact, eat his flesh. Sound like a fucking demon. You're a demon, Godlogic. You don't even realize you're following Satan's religion. When the Quran tells you that as the shaitan, the iblis, went to and fro, right? And back and forth and to and fro, guess what that is? To and fro, back and forth. It's a cross, motherfucker. Satan's religion. But you want to sit here. It's all the new shit. It's all the new shit. Yeah, y'all came up with. Well, yeah, I'm a follower of Christ. Well, what was Christ's religion? No, he was a Jew. Well, why aren't you? Well, because I'm a Christian, and I follow Christ. Well, if you're following Christ and he was Jewish, like what? Like, oh, I raise sheep. And I want to follow the guy who raises sheep. Well, what do you do? Well, I drive NASCAR. But what the fuck? Like, nigga, like, what? Bro, it don't make, y'all don't make no sense, bro. Where's the logic in this? Logic? You're a Christian. You think you sound smart with this and you don't. You're actually proving the Quran true, bro. By trying to sit here and say Allah deceived you, guess what? All them Christians who like to argue that part in the Quran that says Allah is the best of deceivers, guess what? Yes, he is for those who don't follow the Most High's ways. He is the deceiver for you guys. You know why? Because you guys are the evildoers. And yes, that's the only one God, that's the only beings God deceives, because he has to deceive you in order for things to go the way they're supposed to go, for people to thrive, for the prophets to bring truth. But every time they brought truth, what did y'all want to do? Let's kill him and eat him. Niggas was hungry. The modern they were the Asians back then. Eat any goddamn thing, goddamn it. That's right. I'm gonna talk about everybody. I don't give a fuck. Y'all Asians nasty. Y'all eat anything. Ooh, it's moving. Oh, makes my stomach rumble. It's moving. Oh my god, is that a tentacle? Oh my god, I bet that's gonna taste great. Oh wait, don't cook it. I'm gonna eat it alive. Anyway, I'm going off on another topic. But yeah, y'all are basically the philosoph, like whatever Asians are when they're eating all that those random weird creatures. That's y'all, but philosophically, y'all just taking in random weird shit, demonic shit, and calling it faith and salvation. Y'all are demons, nigga. Don't even realize it. Demonized nigga. Oh, that falsehood. What? Jesus? Alive? Oh, no way! Kill him. Yes, that is true salvation. Actually, matter of fact, if everyone is a follower, if y'all are followers of Christ, let me stop joking around. If y'all are really followers of Christ, then why don't you get on a cross? Oh, you won't take up your cross, would you? Would you? Exactly. And that's why the man with the pitcher of water is here to break the cross, to get rid of Satan's symbol. Philosophically, of course, intellectually, of course. Man, it's a mouthful, man. Just keep listening, guys.
I'm not gonna agree with you on the wording. I agree on the concept because it's just not true. Because God is the truth. He can't.
Let me give you all an example. Because Godlogic is so stupid, dude. He's a Christian who believes Christ died on the cross, and he's over here arguing with a Muslim, saying, in your book, if it says that God actually made it appear that Jesus was crucified, then he committed a falsehood. So you're saying that Jesus being crucified is a falsehood? That goes against your belief, Godlogic. You are an ignoramus, and you need to stop blocking me so I can expose you. So all your little followers, all your little what do you call it? Your little channel that you have. Oh yeah, all that's going down. All that's going down, my friend. Because the man with the pitcher of water is here. That's for anybody who wants to challenge me. Anybody. Try to get this in there. Yeah. This.
He's not going to be false, and you're making it seem like he lied, and he didn't lie.
You're right on the money. I don't mean to cut you off, but you're right on the money. God, the true God, will not be false, portray something as false, or present anything that's false because
the only thing that makes it false is whether or not you believe it. Truth and falsehood is predicated on those who believe in them. Hello? Last time I checked, truth and falsehood is based on whoever is believing in it. Something can't be true unless you take it as true. Something can't be false unless you take it as false. And then you bring the evidence and the claim. Then you say, you know what? That's what the claim of the Quran is. You say, look, Jesus was not crucified. Oh, that means God is a liar because I believe he was. That's like me saying this. I told my wife this example. I have a turtle. I put bunny ears on the turtle to make it like I'm trying to save the turtle's life, obviously, right? Because that's the whole premise of God making Jesus appear a certain way, right? So I put bunny ears on this turtle to make it appear that he's not a turtle, that he's actually a bunny, so that he wouldn't be killed by whoever's attacking him,
right? Right, because that's what you Christians want to agree with. You want to agree with those who killed him because you need him dead. So I put bunny ears on this turtle and I go, this is not a bunny. This is in fact a turtle. It was made to appear as a bunny. Christians go, well, that's a bunny. But if you said that it's a turtle, then you're wrong because you tried to deceive me. No, because I told you what it was. How am I deceiving you if I told you what it was? It is a turtle. It was made to look like it was a bunny. That's what happened. Oh, well, then if you made it look like that, then you're a deceiver. So I'm still going to keep my belief as a bunnyist and believe that's a bunny. But if you are in fact deceiving me because your turtleists want to believe that it's a turtle when it's clearly a bunny, and it's not a bunny, guys, but it's like this is what he's arguing for. Like, bro, Godlogic, you don't make any sense with this, bro. How are you going to sit? Well, I'm going to say this again. How are you going to sit here and believe Christ died on the cross, but then making an argument against Islam in the Quran by stating that Allah lied and he's a liar and a deceiver because it's not true that Jesus died on the cross? So what are you saying? Astaghfirullah. Let's say that's what you believe. Allah's the deceiver. Astaghfirullah, he's not. But Allah's the deceiver. Guess what? You believe the deceit, dummy. Because you, by virtue of what you claim to be ideologically a Christian who believes that Christ died on the cross, you are in fact proving the Quran true. You're a dumbass. You really are, dude. Godlogic. And I'm tired of you over here. Bro, you're so ego driven, bro. You really need to calm yourself down. You don't realize what you're saying, dude. You don't realize what you're saying, and in no way does this prove any Muslim false. It doesn't even prove the Quran false, bro. It's just making you look more and more stupider, bro. More and more illogical, dude. More and more illogical. Guys, I got another one for you. Let's just review some videos from Godlogic. Let's look at his recent one on YouTube, right? Check this out, y'all. Look at this. Look at this shit. Sorry, 1 second. Bear with me, guys. People are dumb because I left comments on here and people responded to them. What? Nobody was there during the crucifixion. I mean, they're fine. Like, bro, shut up. Y'all don't know how. Y'all Christians are dumb and y'all conflate so many things, thinking you know what Islam is and you don't. Idiots. All right, let me go to another video. Sorry, it's in my recent history. This was a 2-hour video. Hold on. But yeah, y'all gotta listen to that again, because it doesn't make any sense, does it? That somebody could be so fucking dumb, dude. You're a Christian making an argument like that, dude. Makes no sense. Let's just continue it. Let's just see what the rest of what they say.
Because God, the true God in his nature, is truth. He cannot lie. He cannot be false. He cannot be, anything like that. This is why I reject Islam, because it paints Allah as a light.
He rejects Allah. Look. He rejects. He's looking dumb as hell, bro. But these are his words, bro. We caught him, and I'm recording this. Now, look, he just said. Let's play it again.
Anything like that. This is why I reject Islam, because it paints Allah as a liar who presented falsehood to people and deceived many people.
He's calling himself one who was deceived. So he's saying that his Christian belief of Christ dying on the cross, he's literally just saying what the Quran says, that you have been fooled and deceived from what he thinks to be a false. Like, if what he's saying is true, right, which it is true, Jesus did not die on the cross. So if you're saying that Allah lied to you, now, one, you would have to admit that you were believing in Allah in the first place. In order for him to lie to you, you believe something that was done. Which what was done? It was made to appear that you believed in the illusion.
But what you're forgetting, one component you're forgetting is why was it made to appear, right? And I know you're talking based on the Islamic narrative that it was made to appear that Jesus died on the cross, and he did not, and that is the truth based on what the Quran says. However, I understand where you're trying to go with this logic, but you're losing this battle, bro, because no matter how you push this argument, dude, you make yourself look like an idiot. Because if Allah lied to you, but you're claiming that your belief structure is built on that lie, hello. Do you see the ingenuity, the poeticism written in the Quran? Do you see this? Even intellectually got these niggas tied up. It's the beauty of it, guys. It's the beauty of Islam, the religion of peace. That the Melchizedek that you read in the book of Hebrews, which was claimed to have written by Paul. They say they don't really know, but they claim it was written by Paul. But Paul took a lot of that stuff and took it from, well, they say it was Barnabas too. They don't know, but they claim that he obviously Paul had access to the previous scriptures. Why? Because he worked for those who had the monopoly on all the esoteric and spiritual and religious scrolls and laws, which a lot of it came from the Gospel of the Library of Alexandria. They just put their own twist and their own names to it, which is why in John he actually says that Jesus is being interpreted the Christ, because that is a Greek word, because they needed to change it from the languages it was originally in into Greek in order for them to understand it. But a lot of people will miss that. It's literally written in the Bible. Jesus is being interpreted the Christ. And these niggas, hey, come on, bro. Like, hey, they will, and they will fight tooth and nail to make up something to make sure that shit aligns with it, bro. They are the biggest liars, bro. They're the biggest hypocrites, Christians, and they have to, like, I've never seen somebody fight so hard for the death of the person that's coming to save them. Huh? Like what? The nigga that came to bring you eternal life. You want to you need to make sure he don't get eternal. Oh, bro. Hey, this makes, bro. This is what I'm saying, dude. You Godlogic, bro. This is a message to you, bro. You know what? I would fear for you bringing somebody like me on. I fear for you, bro, because I will rip your logic apart because it's not logical. It's not, dude. And I'm actually saying this as a brother because I'm fighting. What I'm fighting for is the truth, not to make you look like a fool. You're already doing it yourself. If for those who actually can see through it, if they're not Christian, but for those with the intellect to see through your bullshit, you're not really understanding what you're doing here. I'm going to say it again. You're a Christian. The tenet of your faith and belief is that Christ died on the cross. You take that as fact. Then you come into the Quran where they tell you, and the claim is, which is true, according to the scriptures and history, they tell you that it did not happen, but it was made to appear that it was that way. And those who argue amongst themselves, right? Because he also made a live video today that I watched about who it was that God made it appear that to. He made it appear to the Christians, but remember the verse is not over when it's sorry, not the Christians, the Jews. He made it appear to the Jews, but the verse is not over because the verse says those who are in disagreement about it, who dispute about it. Who are the ones who dispute about it? If the Jews are the ones saying that they did it, they're not going to be disputing about it amongst one another because they did it. Who would be the ones disputing or disagreement about it? It would be the Christians, the people that came later that have different ideas and sects and different perceptions on what happened. Because those telling the story, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are building off of Paul and two weren't there. They weren't there. And a lot of people say, "Oh, the disciple that Jesus loved," but that wasn't him. Because if you read in, I believe it's John. Don't quote me. As far as those who were there at the crucifixion, it was the three Marys, which is Mary, the mother of Jesus, Mary Magdalene, and Mary, the wife of Cleophas, which no, I'm sorry, Mary, the mother of James, and then it was Mary, Jesus' mom, Mary, the mother of James, and James of Zebedee, right? And then no, it wasn't the mother of Zebedee, actually. I forget who it was. I gotta look that up. I have my Bible here. Let's see, because I don't want to be wrong because this video is gonna go under scrutiny too, and I'm all about facts here. So I'm gonna look it up, and y'all gonna bear with me while I do it because this is what I do. I'm the man with the pitcher of water. I provide facts. So y'all gonna sit here and take this education. All right, let's turn to the Gospels. Let's see which one who actually said it. I want to say it was Matthew. I don't know. Let's see. So it says those who were there, many women were, it says here in 55 of chapter 27 of Matthew, verse 55 says this, and many women were there beholding afar off, afar. Nobody else was there. This is the mention of those who were there at the crucifixion. Because remember, the disciples had taken off once he got arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane. Because they were asking, remember, they were asking Peter when Peter went to the hall where he was being judged, where Jesus was being judged. They asked Peter, "Hey, weren't you with him? Weren't you with him?" He was like, "No." And that's when Peter was denying Christ. He denied Christ 3 times. "Hey, didn't we see you with him?" He was like, "No, I don't know him." And that's why the cock crew, because that's a big story in the Bible. Because they weren't there. They ran. But he was there in the garden with them. Check this out though. And many women were there beholding afar off, far away, which followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering unto him, among which was Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, right? And the mother of Zebedee's children. Now let's see what Mark says. Let's see what Mark says. Watch this, because I'm gonna wrap this all up. Y'all need to see who was there. Watch this. Okay, so watch this. There were also women looking afar off. Among them was Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, the less of Joseph, and Salome. Salome was the wife of Cleophas, I believe. Don't quote me. I think that's what that was. Let's go to Luke and see what they say. Go to Luke and see what he says. Check this out. And then after that, I believe it was what's his name? It took him off the cross. Sorry, bear with me. It was bear with me. It was who requested Pilate to take him. Joseph of Arimathea. It was Joseph of Arimathea who requested to take the body. But that's a whole different story. He was in cahoots with Jesus because Jesus was alive, and then the whole thing with Judas dying when it was actually Judas on the cross. There's a lot. There's so much. But that's the reason he requested the body, because uh, you don't hear from them after a while because they were working with Jesus. And then also Mary, and this is how we know they were in hiding, because when Mary Magdalene saw Jesus in the garden, he said, go tell my disciples that I have not ascended yet. But I have not ascended yet, but go tell my disciples that I did. Meaning he's telling Mary Magdalene, like, hey, I didn't die, but go tell them I died, and she ran and knew where they were. If they were in hiding, she knew where to go find them. And it's funny because according to Jewish tradition, Mary Magdalene had actually ran to the temple. The sepulchre, which is the cave, which is where she thought Jesus was buried, because she thought he was actually crucified. She ran there to anoint him, because she was also anointing him in the house, and his disciples were questioning why she was anointing him. But a lot of people don't even know that Jesus, in the wedding of Cana, that was his wedding to Mary Magdalene, because that was his wife. But according to Christian narrative, Jesus didn't have a wife, nor did he have seed. But in reality, he did. But the Bible is not coming from that perspective. Even though they mention Jesus' son, Bar, Jesus, which literally translates from the Hebrew Bar, meaning son of Jesus, son of Jesus. So it's actually there, but Paul needed to paint a picture of that guy and say that he was a false Messiah, he was a false prophet, he was basically a sorcerer and all this stuff. But who listens to Paul but Christians? They listen to Paul over Jesus, so it doesn't even matter what he says. That was the son of Jesus. But a lot of people don't know these things, and so when you actually, like, oh man, it's so much, man. You have to break it down. There's so many different missing pieces, and that's why the even like when I read Matthew, it didn't mention Salome, but in Mark it mentioned Salome. You know what I mean? Like even little things like that they leave out, but and then Christian goes, "Oh, it's just minimal. It doesn't even matter." But it does matter, because you're talking about the witnesses who were there at Jesus's so-called crucifixion, which is the biggest tenet of your faith, Christians. So check this out. Here's what Luke says about who was there. Check this out. And all of his acquaintances, this is Luke. This is Luke chapter 23, verse 49. And all of his acquaintance and the women that followed him from Galilee stood afar off. Luke says all of them niggas, all of the acquaintances of Jesus stood afar off. Listen, beholding these things. So if they're far away, you think they can get an accurate depiction on whether or not it was Jesus? They were far off. And behold, there was a man named, look, he skips the whole thing. He don't even say. He don't even say who it was. He don't say Mary Magdalene, none of them. He don't mention it at all. Luke don't mention it at all. Let's see what John says. Let's see what John says. The one we could actually trust, because Matthew wasn't there. Luke wasn't there. He definitely wasn't there, because Luke is like 50, 60 years later. Maybe 70, 80, 90 years later. Yeah, because he was in jail with Paul. So I'd say about 90 years later. Luke definitely wasn't there, and Mark definitely wasn't there, because he was with Paul, and Paul wasn't even alive in Jesus' time. So the four gospels are obsolete. Let's see what John say. Look, let's see what John say, because they weren't even there. Talk about some eyewitnesses. Luke ain't no eyewitness. He even says it in the first chapter of Luke. He says, according to the people of the past, based on what they were saying, I saw it. I saw fit to do it myself. Oh, excellent Theophilus. Let's see what John says. Now, look, John says something different. Now, John chapter 19, verse 25. Look at this. Now there stood by the cross of Jesus his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleophas. Now we're getting some lineage. And Mary Magdalene. When Jesus therefore saw his mother and the disciple standing by, whom he loved, he saith unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Wait. You're telling me Jesus had a brother? Where's the brother? Who's the brother here? It can't be John. According to Christians, you say that it was John, the one that Jesus loved was John of Zebedee. Why is he telling his mom, hey, look, behold your son? Christians will go, oh, well, he was talking about himself. Is he? Okay, let's read the next verse. Then saith he to the disciple, behold thy mother. Oh, so is he talking about himself? No, this would have to be, whoever this disciple is, would have to be his brother. Because if Jesus is addressing his mother, guess what? He's calling to the disciple that's your mother too. Because if you look at Mary Magdalene didn't have children right then. If you look at Mary, the wife of Cleophas, that would make whoever is there Jesus's cousin. So then this is all mixed up anyway. So John of Zebedee wasn't there. Hello? So check this out. The fact that Christians take the four gospels and say that these guys were eyewitnesses I just read it. The only people mentioned being at the crucifixion seem to be his acquaintances and women far off. All the other disciples weren't there. Come on, y'all. Add it up. Add it up. Oh, but you're making it up. You're creating it. You're interpreting it the way you want to. Like, how am I interpreting the way I want to when I just read it? These are the events surrounding the crucifixion. This is supposedly Jesus on the cross, but it wasn't Jesus on the cross. Because why would Jesus be telling people to behold your mother to the disciple? Mary had another child? No. So why would Jesus be talking to his mother and saying, hey, behold your son? Hey, disciple, behold your mother. Come on now. Come on now. This is what I'm saying. Y'all don't know these things, bro. You're not looking deeper. It was Mary Magdalene. It was the three Marys there. According to John, it was a dude. So now, you tell me, where do y'all get the idea that Christ died on the cross for your sins? Really? Where do you really get it? Because it ain't them niggas. It ain't Luke. Luke wasn't there. He wasn't no eyewitness. Mark wasn't no eyewitness. They weren't alive yet. They weren't born. So there's two of your gospels gone. Now you're left with Matthew and John, who are claimants
or who the Christian world are claiming were disciples of Christ. Was Matthew there? No. So all you're left with is John. Was John there? No. All the disciples fled. And anyone who was there, according to, who was it? Luke. The acquaintances were far off. So would they be able to have seen this? That he was Jesus on the cross? You tell me. Just because they're far off doesn't mean they didn't see anything. Christians will come away. Just because they're far off doesn't mean they didn't. They're not. Dude. You tell me if they saw because you were there, right? You tell me. But see, here's the folly in this stuff, man, and this is what I'm talking about. So there are no eyewitnesses. This story comes from Paul because he's using the old, I wouldn't even say Old Testament. He's using what's called the Sabor, the Psalms of David, where David was crucified. Because a lot of people don't know that King David was a Messiah. He was anointed and chosen by God. What do you call an anointed, chosen by God? That's called a Messiah. The word anointed in those languages, in the Hebrew, in the Aramaic, in the Arabic, it means Messiah, which means to anoint, to wipe. To wipe what? Oil. He was anointed. Oh, and the thing about Mary Magdalene, I didn't finish saying, is that Mary Magdalene was running to the sepulchre because she wanted to oil him, because I didn't finish the wedding of Cana thing, and they were the ones who got married. She ran to the sepulchre because she wanted to oil his body. And in Jewish tradition, based on Jewish old law, only the wife or the mother of somebody can do that. So what that mean? Jesus was married. Jesus had a wife. And he had children. And that's where the whole French thing, I'm saying a lot, but that's where the whole French thing with the Merovingian and how they stole that knowledge. And, that's why they had enough power to come over here and take a Louisiana Purchase. And that's why you have in Louisiana places called Baton Rouge, which is really French words. Baton Rouge. I don't know how to do the French accent. Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge. That's French. I wonder why the French are in Louisiana. It was a black dominated. Oh, look at that. We talking too much about the. Y'all don't know. Y'all service level Christians and Muslims don't know the history of America. The Moors, the ones with the real knowledge. Some of them are evil. I'm about to post it to YouTube, so I ain't gonna say too much. I mean, YouTube. I mean YouTube. Sorry. Slip of the. I lost the words today. So yeah, I'm gonna post it to YouTube. I mean YouTube. YouTube, iTube, WeTube. All right. No, on a serious note, the Godlogic, you have no logic, bro. Like, you need to come contend with this stuff, man. For real. Because your hands are tied dealing with me. I will not let you escape this, bro. And I'm gonna keep coming after your videos of all the stupid shit you say. Because you conflate things with like things that don't even make sense, and then you try to argue against the Quran, and you just proved your whole tenet of your faith. You just proved wrong by trying to disprove the Quran wrong. Yo, it's the chosen one. It's the guided one. It's the guided one. It's the chosen one. It's the man with the pitcher of water. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.